Hey, I'm going to start my own discussion thread about the topic of ethnocentrism. I did review Octavia's starter post and all the posts that followed that, and I'm going to touch on those, I think, too, a little bit in my post. I think I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about the video that Dr. Scholl's posted. I was a little shocked that the gentleman that spoke was easily offended by someone asking him where he's from. And maybe it's just me, but I think that if I wasn't interested, I wouldn't ask. And I didn't think that he looked that unusual to me. I definitely wouldn't have pegged him as being from India. So, and maybe that's me being unaware. I'm not sure. But I was a little shocked he was so offended by people asking him. And I would think that I wouldn't ask if I wasn't interested in finding out more about him, as a person. So I'm not sure. I was a little shocked about that. So I'm going to talk to you about the quote that Dr. Scholl's posted to start off the discussion, whether or not you disagree with this statement. The part of that quote that caught me was where it says, saying you don't see race is like saying you don't see gender, weight, age, physical attractiveness, clothing, disability, etc. I think that I see race just as I see those other things. Everybody is different. It just seems like another one of those common things to me. Race is no different than the height or the weight of the differences that we see in people out in the community. So I would have to say that I'm not sure whether that means I would agree or disagree with that quote. In a country in which there are people who actually claim to be color biased can be a difficult problem to confront. So yeah, I guess, you know what, I would say I agree with that statement. If you don't see race like you see gender and height and weight and age, then you probably are maybe a little colorblind or colorblind bias. So the one thing in one of the posts, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who posted it. I reviewed those last week. Was someone talked about questioning people or having conversations with people about their culture and stuff like that. And then someone was like, don't ask questions, I think. And for me, I wonder how we overcome this ethnocentrism if we don't ask people questions. I think that is how we get to know one another better. And we can read these textbooks and have conversations like this, but I think we're going to learn better if we're having direct interaction with somebody from another culture who's telling us about them, and that we're having an open conversation, and it's like facing what's uncomfortable and learning. It's a learning process, but the person on the opposite side of the table has to have the same feeling, and the same willingness to have a conversation with someone from an opposite culture in order to gain that understanding. As far as the definition of ethnocentrism, keep going back to the book and back to the book and back to the book to read the definition over and over again. And basically for me, I would sum it up as basically someone who thinks they're better than somebody else for the reasons of their beliefs and their cultures and their values and traditions. And I think that it doesn't necessarily have to start with or be with culture. I think it can be as simple as ethnocentrism seems to be something like it could be as easy as a man feeling like they're more superior to a woman. And I could be totally wrong, but that's kind of my guess. I think it's a topic that needs to be addressed. I think it needs to be discussed. And I think that the only way that we're going to overcome this ethnocentrism is if we have the opportunities to get to know people, and not even to know people and learn about their cultures, but just to get to know people and interact with people who are different than us ourselves and what we believe. So hope everybody's having a great snow day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.